take a deep three, and Paige Kohler knocks it down. Kohler to Velasco. Amy Velasco for a three. Velasco hits it from downtown. Amy Velasco connects.
Paige Kohler a three, and she's feeling it. Splish, splash.
Kohler out to Gherkin. Gherkin wide not for three again, and she drains it. Feed the hot hand. Jasmine Furr for three, and she buries it.
The BGSU Falcons have defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks, coming back from 14 down. One final time from the Stroh Center this season. Hello, sports fans, and welcome to WBGU 88.1 FM. My name's Caden Knapp. I'm thrilled to be joined by Foster Rosti for this matchup, which features the Falcons of Bowling Green and the Golden Flashes of Kent State. BGSU enters with a record of 16-12, 9-7 in Mid-American Conference play. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, and you have Kent State entering with a record of 19-10, 11-5 in MAC play. They've won 3 consecutive. And Foster, this is really a big game for both these teams, starting with the Falcons. They're right now 6th in the MAC. They'd be scheduled to play Toledo in the first round. They cannot drop below that 6th seed through these last 2 games. And with that loss against NIU on Saturday, it's kind of make it so it's hard for them to jump up. They would need Miami to lose both their final 2 games against Central Michigan and NIU, and they would need to win both their games because Miami has the head-to-head.
Yeah, and that loss against NIU is just a heartbreaker for the Falcons. A double overtime loss for the Falcons, in one in which they had a 21-point lead at one point in the game. They lost it. That's behind them now. They have to bounce back and face a very good opponent in Kent State. They've had a solid season, 10-19 in the MAC, overall, 11-5 in the MAC. Very good overall season, and they're just a well-rounded team that's coming off a March Madness tournament last year. They've been very good all season. You're going to have to go up against the best to be the best in MAC.
Exactly, and to add more to BGSU, you know, the practices the last few days have definitely been very intense for this team coming off that NIU game. Coach Shamil knows how big this game is to kind of get the ball rolling again because, like we said, they won those 5 games in a row, longest winning streak under Coach Fred Shamil. And that NIU game kind of, you know, put a bad stain or bad feel on things, but it's a long season, and yes, it's coming right down to the end of the regular season, but they still have a chance to right the ship.
Yeah, and whenever you lose a game in the way you did against Northern Illinois, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth as a team. And the best way to get that taste out of your mouth is to really turn all your focus to your next matchup and take all that anger, all those mistakes that you made at NIU, take them out on Kent State, and just a perfect game tonight is what they'll be aiming for, because everything that they've worked for this past practice to fix after NIU is for this game to make themselves look way better and to put their best foot forward as the MAC season rolls to an end.
Then flipping the page and looking at Kent State, they're playing really, really good basketball as of late. They won their last 2 games by sizable margins, and they also defeated top-seeded Ball State before that. So they're coming in winning 3 consecutive. And, you know, Jenna Bash, Maya Babbitt have been fantastic for this team.
Yeah, that's the heart and soul that runs that roster for this for that Golden State Flashes team. They've been on it all year. I mean, they have one of the best offenses in the MAC, 74.5 points per game. That's second best in the MAC for the Golden Flashes. They've been playing outstanding all season. It's why they're one of the best teams in the MAC.
Yes, and they come in at the 4th spot right now. They'd play Miami in the first round if this MAC tournament started today. And, you know, they're looking, obviously, to jump up in the standings. They're right on the heels of Toledo, who they play up next. And that game very well could decide who gets into the top 3 on the tournament rankings.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Starkey for Kent State, you cannot have the Golden Flashes overlooking Bowling Green today.
Yep.
Toledo's the bigger game for them. It means much more standing-wise for Kent State, but you cannot overlook your opponent at any point in any game. That's how you get beat. That's how you lose games you should win. Bowling Green knows it well after that NIU loss. They started looking ahead towards Kent State. They got beat. You cannot overlook a game, especially when you're on the road in the Stroh today.
Yes, and These two teams, of course, met up back on New Year's Day. Hard to believe that was nearly 2 months ago. I mean, the time has just flown by, really. And, this Falcons team is very different. I mean, you have Lexi Fleming, who at the time of that New Year's Day game had been back playing basketball for about a month, a little less than that. And Kieran McGuff was in the starting five consistently at that point. Now you have Janaea Donahue, who's been a spark plug.
Yeah, and that was the very first MAC regular season game as well. Everything changes. You got to feel out some stuff as a team goes on, and especially through MAC play, you really have to figure out what works. Bowling Green has figured out what works for them, and that made some switches, got some players healthy, got Fleming back in the starting lineup, got her ready to go, and now this is the end of the season, and you've seen Bowling Green really turn up the heat on all the teams. Obviously stumbled versus NIU. We can't say it enough, but they've turned it on. They figured it out. They beat Toledo there was a huge game here in the Stro. They figured it out. They've started to get in a good rhythm as the season kind of comes to an end here.
Yep, before we go to break, Foster, what are your 3 keys to the game for the Falcons?
The Falcons, they cannot let Kent State rebound. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the MAC. Second, they get 40.2 rebounds a game. So they got to keep them off the rebounding. Just keep them off rebounding. They have to start opening up three-point shots for the Falcons. 34.8% from three on 7.4 makes a game. We've seen them do better than that. The Ohio game was a big shootings night for them. Yep. Something in that range, maybe not as many or as many shots, but something like that. And then just get to the line and early and often. Get these Kent State flashes into foul trouble until they have to go deep into their bench, and you can then take advantage of matchups that they have to throw out there.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Ohio game. The Falcons hit a record-setting 18 three-pointers in that game. The three-ball will definitely be a stat category to watch between these two. And to add to your fouling, Kent State is top the MAC in free throw percentage. So if they get to go to the line, they're going to make it more than likely. So it's big to get their top players, their top free throw percentage players into foul trouble and, kind of get them to back off. So we're going to step aside and we will come back, introduce the starting five. Foster's going to introduce his key players to this game. And then, of course, we'll play basketball here in the Stroh Center. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Baseball heads to Athens to kick off a 3-game series against Ohio on Friday, March 7th at 3 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavalitz will have the full recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
I'm Ryan O'Hara on the BG hockey team. I got 4 favorite restaurants here. My first one, Frickers, because of the frickin' chicken. My second one, Kermit's, because it's great breakfast food. My third one, The Row. It's great. It stays open late and has great food. And my fourth one is Juniper. It's great to go in the afternoon, and they have a really good name that too.
BGSU Baseball takes on the Ohio Bobcats for the second game of a 2-game series on Saturday, March 2nd at 2 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Noah Sealy will have a recap available on bgfalconmedia.com.
WBGU 88.1 FM presents Jazz Unlimited. Hello, I'm Mark Zaborny, host of Jazz Unlimited. Join me for a live edition of the program starting at 9 on Wednesday mornings with additional broadcasts on Thursday and Friday. I'll share a mix of jazz compositions from over the years on Northwest Ohio's community radio station and streaming at bgfalconmedia.com.
On November 15th, 2024, BGSU hockey defeated St. Thomas in a shootout, courtesy of a game winner by defenseman Jack Blake. Falcon Media Sports Network's voice of Falcon hockey, Ben Korak, had the call of the moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And Jack Blake, for all the glory, trying to put this one away with the puck, taking it around, far side wheel, working in with the shot, and he fills it! Jack Blake with the shootout winner! First time in the lineup this season, and Jack Blake is the hero as Bowling Green mobs him.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hey everyone, Producer Dada here, reminding you to catch Family Radio right here on WBGU 88.1 FM every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. That's 2 full hours of music, talk, and entertainment for the whole family.
Family Radio 88.1, Go Falcon!
Don't miss Family Radio every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m.
WBGU HD1, Bowling Wheel High.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
The BG News is Bowling Green State University's campus newspaper, published Wednesday, offering items of general interest to the broader campus community, including top local campus and city news, and state, regional, national, and international news events of significance. Key Magazine and The Obsidian are magazines that print once a semester. The BG News, publishing weekly information and entertainment from Bowling Green State University.
BGSU Baseball takes part in a midweek spring break matchup with the Dayton Flyers on Wednesday, March 5th at 3 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavelitz will have a recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center. Caden Knapp, Foster Rothside, WBGU 88.1 FM for BGSU and KSU. We're going to go through the starting five, starting with the Bowling Green State University Falcons. Foster, take us through it.
For the Falcons, we have Amy Velasco, Paige Kohler, Lexi Fleming, Johnny Donahue, and Erica Porter. The same starting lineup they've had for the past couple of times, and the same one they tried it out versus NIU.
Yes, and who are your players to watch out of those five for the Falcons?
Donahue and Porter. Donahue on the defensive end, you want to make sure she's up and getting active early on the defensive end, getting steals, turning those steals into points. And Erica Porter, just not only protecting the paint, but taking over the rebounding as a whole today, rebounding plenty and cleaning up the glass and making sure that Kent State gets no offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities.
Yep. And then looking at the Golden Flashes, their starting five a little different. They have Maya Babbitt, Jenna Batch, Deanna Gray, Bridget Dunn, and then Tatiana Thomas is in the starting five. Janae Tyler is out, and so is Riley Rismiller. So an interesting setup there. But as we mentioned, Batch and Babbitt very important for this team up front.
Yeah, Bash had 21 points last time in their win over Akron with 5 of 9 from 3. It's going to be first thing first for Kent State to get her started early and often. And then Dunn, who's subbing in today for an injury, is going to have got 10 rebounds against Akron. So look for her to get that started often, going after glass, getting offensive rebounds, trying to get second chance opportunities for the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, another interesting note is the entirety of their starting five have been lifelong, at least collegiately, Golden Flashes. So a lot of experience under Todd Starkey.
Yeah, and you don't see that very often. Obviously, Bowling Green has plenty of transfers in and new faces. Full-time at one college is very new with the transfer portal, with NIL kind of going into just new era of play. It's something that shows just how well he's built a culture at Kent State and how well the players like playing for him as a coach.
We're going to step aside for a legal ID and come right back to the Stroh Center.
I'm BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat, and you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU women's basketball.
The lights go back on here in the Stroh Center. This is the third time that Coach Fred Shamil is facing off against Todd Starkey. Of course, Shamil 0-2 record, losing the first two. And then this is also the 101st meeting ever between Kent State and Bowling Green. Bowling Green leading the overall series 62-39. They're 33-14 Foster here at home.
And that's what you got to do in these type of long start-out meetings is protect home court. Bowling Green's done a very good job of it overall this season as well. They're 10-2 at home, so they can control the home court, and this is just a great thing for the Falcons to be able to control their home floor.
Both teams starting fives trot onto the floor. Final words before tip-off. Erica Porter, of course, will be in the middle for the Falcons. She is across from Jenna Batch. Both are 6'2". Batch a senior, Porter a fifth year.
Yeah, those kind of having those just that much experience as players helps you so much, especially down the line. Knowing how to handle the last couple of games, knowing how to handle these big games like Kent State and Bowling Green are both going up, and learning how, and just teaching the other players about going into postseason play. It's something big that going over and just growing as a player you can take.
Still waiting for the officials to blow the whistle and get in the middle. Both teams are ready as the horn rings. Falcons, of course, going to the west, the Golden Flashes to the east for the first half. Toss the ball up, and we're underway with the Falcons possessing the tip. It's Amy Velasco taking it across the midcourt stripe. Here we go. Lexi Fleming take a three from the near wing. That's going to fall right off the bat. Lexi Fleming, 3-0 BGSU.
Now, that's the way you want to get started if you're Bowling Green. It was a handoff, and that handoff created so much space for Fleming, and she just took a wide-open three.
Fleming scored 17 in the first meeting against Kent State, and that pass is going to go away and out of bounds. A little bit of miscommunication between Thomas and Gray goes down as a turnover. 30 seconds in, Falcons' second offensive possession. Amy Velasco stopped her dribble, now gets it back to Lexi Fleming, dribbling around the arc and directing the offense. Paige Kohler with it, over to Nay Donahue. Donahue driving, stops. Now she's going to pass it out to Fleming. Fakes the three, dribbling around the near side. Now she drives the paint. 8 seconds on the Falcons timer. Back to Velasco it goes with 5 seconds. Now at 3, Velasco driving. Stops at the far elbow. 1 second to shoot it. She gets it off, and it's short and no good. And then Nay Donahue there to get the rebound in the middle of the paint, and then has it stripped away by Deanna Gray. Back the other way.
And that was great by Donahue. Just getting in there and getting a rebound. Got to be stronger with it so that Kent State cannot steal it away.
No good underneath for Thomas. Porter, good defense there. Paige Kohler, other side of the floor. 3-0 BGSU, 8:40 mark of the first quarter. It's Lexi Fleming dribbling around at the far wing. She's going to take a three from that spot, and it falls! Lexi Fleming, 6-0. 6 points for number 25.
2 for 2 from 3. Only points for Bowling Green. Getting herself started early as they're giving her a little bit of space from 3.
Gray dribbling around the near side wing. Gets it up top to Batch. Tightly guarded by Kohler. She's going to take the shot from the far elbow. That's short and no good. And right there, the rebound defensively is Paige Kohler. Paige Kohler, over 100 defensive rebounds this year. She's been fantastic. Fleming now driving to the hoop, and she's going to be fouled. 2 shots incoming for her.
And off that defensive rebound, Kohler got her head straight up and was looking down the court for an open pass. She wanted that outlet. She wanted to get out those Falcons and get them running. That's something to keep an eye out the entire game. So if there's one mistake on the fast break defense for Kent State, watch for those long full court passes from Bowling Green.
Lexi Fleming misses her first free throw. She's 78.8% from the free throw line. Tatiana Thomas, the guilty party of the game's first foul, 8-minute mark of the first quarter. 6-0 BGSU. Now it's 7-0 as Lexi Fleming hits the free throw. She has all 7 points scored thus far. Batch over to Dunn. Dunn had it poked away by Donahue. Fast break opportunity, one-on-one down the floor. Donahue, nice move, but it's going to be poked away by Batch and back the other way. Lob it underneath. There's Thomas, had it poked away by Velasco, getting a hand on it, and the Falcons get it right back. It's Paige Kohler up top. Velasco driving from the top of the key, stops at the far elbow. Now it's Lexi Fleming dribbling, driving. She's going to pass it to Porter in front of the baseline, and then it's going to be tipped away out of bounds by Bridget Dunn. This has been a very fast-paced start, Foster.
I think that fast-paced start is very beneficial to Bowling Green. They like to get out. They have that smaller 4-guard lineup for that reason, that they can get out and run.
Lexi Fleming back with the basketball. Inside to Donahue at the near block. And back out to Lexi Fleming. 3 seconds to shoot it. Fleming, very deep three, no good off the front iron. She shot it from the near wing, back the other way. Babbitt, one end to another, no good. In and out it goes, and Kohler picks up her second defensive board. Down the floor, Fleming stops in front of the baseline, gets it ahead. There's Kohler, makes the layup on the run. 9-0, under 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Deanna Gray, out of Batch. There's a three from the far wing, and that's going to fall. That'll get Kent State on the board. Batch 8 in the MAC in 3-point field goal percentage. Kohler driving from the near wing to the hoop. She goes, and she gets it to fall over Journey Hildebrand. 11-3.
The Falcons have gotten anything they really wanted offensively so far.
And then Velasco, that's Batch's pass away out of bounds. The Falcons not giving the Golden Flashes any room offensively. 6:17 to go in the first quarter. Taya Ellis will enter the game for the first time, taking the place of Erica Porter, sophomore for fifth-year exchange. Hildebrand receives the inbounds. Bridget Dunn, guarded by Ellis, and has her pass tipped away, but not legally, say the officials. Mae Donahue is going to be guilty of her first personal foul.
And I like the idea Donahue had there. She had that ball caught high where she could poke it. She just got a little too much arm on that attempt.
Dunn receives the inbound, gets it back to Batch, takes the long two from the far side. No good. Air ball right to Paige Kohler it went.
I think Donahue got a hand on that ball. I think that might have been a block.
Fleming around the arc to Velasco. Under 6 to play in the first. The Falcons still up 11-3. Quick start for them. Velasco to the hoop. That's going to fall. She drove the far side of the paint to put it in. Other side of the floor, quickly to the hoop. Deanna Gray, full steam ahead, lays it in. 13-5 now. It's Velasco with the basketball. Fleming. Tightly guarded. She will be fouled. Maya Babbitt, the guilty party. Second foul committed by the Golden Flashes. BGSU has committed 1 thus far. As Emily Cecil will enter the game for the first time, taking the place of Amy Velasco. Cecil will be the inbounder. Gets it into Nate Donahue. Near side corner finds Paige Kohler. Now up top to Lexi Fleming. Back to Kohler off the ball screen. She's going to take a deep three. That's short and no good. And the rebound made is Maya Babbitt. Hildebrand, a lot of space on her three. That's no good from the near side wing. Donahue there to rebound it at the far block. Halfway mark of the opening quarter. 13-5. Falcons in front. Lexi Fleming to the hoop. That's going to fall. She was driving the baseline, and Paige Kohler set her up perfectly.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you have such a great start from three for Fleming. They have to extend that defense to guard her so far out that she can just cut back door easy.
Falcons get it back after the batch miss. Fleming to the corner, takes a three. That's going to fall. Lexi Fleming, another triple.
Great ball movement, swinging it completely around the court to find the open three-point shooter.
18-5, no good on the mid-range shot for Babbitt. Donahue, one end to another, has that blocked away by Bridget Dunn. In the first matchup between these two, Kent State had 8 total blocks in that contest. This is going to bring us to our first media timeout of the game. 18-5 the score, 4:16 to play in the first. Caden Knapp, Foster Rothside, WBGU 88.1 FM. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com.
BG Women's Tennis takes on Loyola in Lake Nona, Florida on Tuesday, March 4th at noon. Catch the full recap from Falcon Media Sports Network's Stephen Sholden on bgfalconmedia.com.
Mark Zaborny here, host of WBGU FM's Jazz Unlimited. Listen to Jazz weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon with special live in-studio editions every Wednesday. I'll spin classic jazz standards and the latest jazz releases. That's Jazz Unlimited, weekdays from 9 until noon on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in Bowling Green, Ohio, it's 18-5 in favor of the hometown Falcons with 4:16 to go in the opening quarter. And, you know, Foster, we said at the top of the broadcast that threes would be pivotal. Falcons started this game 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. The Golden Flashes 1 of 2.
Yeah, they've been able to do a great job of attacking down into the paint and then kicking it out to a shooter to find wide open shots, because the way Kent State's been guarding it so far is they've been dropping so many players into the paint to just contest those layups that there's a wide open pass, you can make it out to the corner, and it swings around and you have a wide open three-point shooter. And so far, Fleming's been the one to make the threes.
Yeah, she's leading the charge for really both these teams with a game-high 12 points. On the other end, you have Jenna Batch scoring 3. She's the leader for Kent State.
And it's been the speed that this pace of the game has been played so far that's been very beneficial to the Falcons. They've been outrunning, getting downhill, and opening up those threes like we just talked about. But it's kept Kent State out of a set offense, which they like to run to score their points. And those missed layups that then just turn into Falcon points.
Let's see what adjustments are made out of the media timeout. It is Falcon basketball. Amy Velasco back into the game. She'll inbound it. Kieran McGuff will receive it just into the game for the first time. Paige Kohler now to Fleming. Back to Kohler up top. Back and forth passing. There's a Fleming 3. She's feeling it. She hit that one from the far wing. 21-5.
Well, you talk about changes. It looked like Kent State came out in a bit of a 2-3 zone there to match up with the Falcons. But the Falcons, the best way to beat a zone is to shoot them out of it.
Dunn, guarded by McGuff. Now to Batch, take the 3 from the top of the key. That's short and no good. Tatiana Thomas to the rebound underneath, and then Erica Porter will commit a foul. We'll see if they say it was a shooting foul. Looks like it was, so Thomas will get 2 free throws. Each team committing 2 personal fouls in the start of this one. 21-6 after the first free throw is good. Thomas, a 70.9% free throw shooter from Bolingbrook, Illinois, hits both her free throws. It's Velasco dribbling up the courts. McGuff to the corner. That's intercepted by Thomas, and then she saves it in bounds right to Hillebrand. McGuff was trying to force it to Fleming. First turnover of the game as well for the Falcons, as there's a whistle and a foul going to be called. It's Kieran McGuff, the guilty party, at the 3:23 mark. Gray will be the inbounder. From the G in green, gets it underneath, and then no good on the layup for Thomas. McGuff the rebound in the middle of the paint, now full steam ahead. There's Velasco. Back to Kohler. Kohler take the three from the near side. Wing, splash, splash! 24-7.
And that's a good rebound, attacking the paint on a fast break and then kicking it out to a wide open trailing shooter.
Under 3 to play in the first quarter. The Falcons out to a red-hot start, to say the least. Bridget Dunn guarded underneath by Ellis, and Dunn will win the battle as she hits the layup from straight ahead. Falcons 4 of 6 from three-point land to start. Lexi Fleming moves it in to Ellis. Finds Velasco. And now whistle, and off the ball foul is going to be called. McGuff fell over, and she's going to be guilty of the foul. Her second personal, and she'll go over to the bench for Janaea Donahue. As Deanna Gray, the junior, takes it up the floor. To Batch. Hildebrand back to Batch. Off the ball screen by Thomas. Underneath now. Thomas to the hoop whistle and a foul. Count the bucket on top of it. That was a good setup there, Foster.
It looks like a good setup. Now, I did not look to see if the Fleming was in the restricted area, so that may be why they called the blocking foul instead of a charge for the Falcons.
Thomas back at the line. This time she's shooting one, trying to convert the good old-fashioned three-point play. She will not, as it's no good, and Paige Kohler picks up another rebound. Approaching 2 minutes in the first. 24-11. Velasco. Back to Fleming, takes a three, gets gonna fall, it rolled in. 27-11. Now Dunn forces up a three, no good off the back arm, but offensive rebound made by Batch, and she's gonna lay it in. Right place, right time for Batch to make it 27-13. Velasco. Now to Donahue in stride, driving the edge of the paint. Whistle, foul. And they're going to get Taya Ellis with an illegal screen. And with that, Kendall Moxley will now enter the game for the first time, taking the place of Taya Ellis.
And that's an unlucky call for Ellis there. She had her player sealed. It looked like she wanted the ball, and usually the refs won't call that because that's still an offensive positioning that you can have. But I think they called it because of the way that Donahue was attacking the basket. 1:25 until quarter break. Batch. It's over to Babbitt. Back to Batch. 12 seconds on their timer. Thomas driving the edge of the paint, and she's going to lay it in around Moxie from the far block. 27-15. Paige Kohler. Dribbling. Now to Fleming. Fleming double team. Now she's in a drive. Move it out to wide open Amy Velasco. No good on her three from the far wing, but Moxie the rebound. And then a whistle and a jump ball's going to be called. To Kent State it goes. That was Babbitt getting her hands on it with 53 seconds to go. And that double team is an early double team on Fleming. 18 points already in the game. They have to send a help defense because of how well she's been playing so far. Emily Cecil back into the game for Amy Velasco.
Batch getting it over to Gray. Dribbling around the far wing. She'll move it inside to Bridget Dunn. Now back up top to Gray. Takes the three. That's going to fall with 30 seconds to play in the quarter. It's 27-18. Second three of the game for the Golden Flashes. Shot clock is off. Paige Kohler just dribbling around with the basketball, taking her time. So now drive with 10 seconds. Get it back to Emily Cecil. Clock continues to tick away. Fleming, nice move, wide open three for the near wing, and that's going to roll in again. 30-18 is going to be the score after 1 quarter of gameplay. The threes are falling for the Falcons. 7 of 10 from that vantage point after 1 quarter of play. Kaden Knapp, Foster Rossite, WBGU 88.1 FM. We'll be right back.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Back in the Stroh Center, it's 30-18 to start quarter number 2. The Falcons out in front thanks to Lexi Fleming's 21 points, 6 of 7 from three-point range in this must-win game for the Falcons. And Foster, the first quarter has treated the Falcons well really all season long. This second quarter will be very important. Kent State this season outscoring their opponents by 90 in the second 10 minutes. The Falcons just 7. So what do they got to do to keep up this positive momentum?
Well, I think it's the best thing is get it to Fleming behind the three-point arc so far in the game. 6 for 7 from 3, outscoring Kent State alone 21-18. That's not something you see. This is something very special in the first quarter that we've seen the Bowling Green Falcons get to.
Yes. They'll start with Bowling Green. Fleming has already matched her. She's more than doubled her season high in threes made in a game. We're back underway. And then a whistle and a foul is going to be called away from the ball. They're going to get Kendall Moxie with her first personal.
The refs have been not very lenient on moving screens so far. That's a couple we've seen on the Falcons called early.
Kent State's first offensive possession this quarter. Thomas had that poked away by Fleming, and then Gray is going to save it in bounds, and then it'll bounce right out of bounds. So all for naught there as it goes back to the orange and brown. It's Amy Velasco. Paige Kohler now. Quick passing around the arc. 13 seconds on the Falcons timer. Donahue now to Kohler, working the far side. 8 seconds to shoot it, and a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Kendall Moxie had it poked away illegally, say the officials. We'll go back to the orange and brown. Nay Donahue receives the inbound. Now to Moxie around the arc, who finds Paige Kohler.
Kent back in this 2-3 zone.
Fleming to the corner. Donahue drives the baseline. Now the opposite corner with Fleming, who finds Kohler. A lot of space on her three from the top of the key. That falls! 33-18.
What a great find by Fleming. Deep in her own corner, finding the open shooter.
Beautiful pass, and then on the other end, we're going to have a whistle and a foul. Count the basket. That was Deanna Gray going end to end.
Yeah, and Velasco got there late, was in the restricted area. That one's going to be called a charge, or a blocking foul every time. Sometimes you got to just let that one go and just let him have the layup.
Gray makes the free throw. This is her 37th career start, by the way. 25th this season. It's Fleming possessing the basketball. Now to Kohler. Kohler and Fleming each in double-digit scoring. Fleming with 21, Kohler with 10. Donahue driving the edge of the paint, and she's going to lay it in from the near block. Down floor, Thomas has her pass intercepted. Amy Velasco. Now to Kohler in stride, and she's going to pass it off the leg of Jenna Batch, and out of bounds it goes.
And Kent State got her up running there just a little too fast for their own good. Pass a little too far and ends up in the Falcons' hands.
Fleming, top of the key. Now she's going to take a three from the near wing. That's no good off the back iron, but a tip drill, and Donahue winds up with it. Driving the baseline, back to Fleming. Quick passing in around the arc of the Falcons. 8 minutes to play in the half. Fleming back with it. 8 seconds on the Falcons timer. Fleming going to take a three from the top of the key. That's well short, and out of bounds it goes. And Foster, that seemed like the first forced shot, I would say, of the game for the orange and brown.
It definitely was forced. It was a little late in the shot clock as well.
Yep.
Kind of had to get something up. But you're right, that one was a little forced. They didn't get motion going early to get into their offensive sets, off an offensive rebound. That one is one of those that you want back if you're a team.
Gray up the floor to Batch. Now Babbitt. Hildebrand. Dribbling around the near wing. Gets it back up top to Gray. Making moves. Now back out to Babbitt. Babbitt driving. It's Batch up top. 7 seconds to shoot it. She's going to drive the near side. No good on her shot from the near block. And then it's going to skid out of bounds. Last touch by a player in white. So the Golden Flashes will get it back. Shot clock at 20 seconds. Game clock at 7:18. No look inbound goes to Dunn. Short near corner. Finding Batch. Guarded by Donahue. Off the ball screen. Batch the long two. That's going to fall. If he would have blinked, he would have not seen that go in. That's a 12-point game. Velasco's pass over to Donahue almost taken away. Move it inside, now back out around the arc. Fleming. Moxie in stride at the far elbow. Now Velasco, a lot of space on her three. That's going to fall. She made it from the near corner.
And Kent State back in that zone. The Falcons have done a good job of finding open spots where all the eyes then turn to the ball. That time it was Moxie at the free throw line and then finding the open player.
There's a three now, and that's no good off the back iron from the near wing, but an offensive rebound is made by Babbitt, who was the shot taker, and she's going to drive to the hoop along the baseline and short on her layup. Moxie to rebound it. It's Kohler taking it the other way. High dribbling it. Back into Moxie. Finding Velasco. Velasco driving the paint and has that blocked away by Batch, and out of bounds it goes. With that, Layla Harrison will enter the game for the first time, taking the place of Janaea Donahue. Freshman for freshman exchange. And on Kent State side, we're going to see Bianca Juzo enter the game for the first time, the senior. Velasco lobs it inside from Moxie, double teamed, and then a whistle and a foul.
That was the good play call. That one, when Moxie caught that ball, she brought it down low where guards want that ball if you're having to get stuck on a big like Moxie is. You got to keep that one high and go straight up with it the minute you catch it.
It's Hildebrand who they assign the foul to, as Erica Porter will enter the game for Kendall Moxie. Each team now committing 2 fouls this quarter. 5:55 until the intermission. It's going to be Velasco, the inbounder. Gets it into Layla Harrison, finding Paige Kohler. Kohler dribbling around. Now over to Fleming, who finds Velasco, taking it the other way. Kohler inside pass. Porter back out to Fleming. 6 seconds to shoot it. Layla Harrison, a lot of space. Driving, and she's going to lay it in from the far block. Good shot by her. 17-point lead for the Orange and Brown. Deanna Gray dribbling around. Dunn. Now Hildebrand has a lot of space on her three. That's short and no good from the near wing. And then Fleming gets the rebound. A highly contested one at that. And Journey Hildebrand then commits her second personal foul.
And that's good rebounding down there low with the bigs, tipping that ball up and then going and hustling to get it before anyone else can.
Hildebrand will exit the game for Megan Murray. Halfway mark of the second quarter. Erica Porter, the short far corner. Pass it up top to Velasco in stride, stopping at the far elbow. Now it's Fleming with it, handing it back to Velasco. 8 seconds on the Falcons timer. Velasco dribbling around, 3 seconds to shoot it. She's gonna drive, no good, off the underside of the backboard, and a shot clock violation will be called. There was a lot of contact. The Falcon fans here and Coach Fred Shamil wanted a foul. None was called. So with 4:39 to play in the half, we're going to go to our second media timeout. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of Ale Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics and available at Juniper Brewing Company on South Main Street in Northwest Ohio. Kroger scores. Details at juniperbrew.com. 40-23 to score in favor of the Orange and Brown.
BG Falcon Media is an organization encompassing student media organizations at Bowling Green State University. BG24 is the video component of Falcon Media that creates a weekly live newscast every Tuesday. All videos and live streams can be found on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel and website, or BG24's Twitter account. BG Falcon Media, empowering students with creative freedom by exploring technologies and focusing on audience engagement and service to our communities. Falcon Communications is the student-run public relations firm of BGSU Public Relations Student Society of America and BG Falcon Media. Those who join the firm create social media and feature story content for the BG News, BG24, WBGU FM, and the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. For each Falcon Media brand, Falcon Communication members help coordinate special events and create strategies for how to best market those events to the university community.
Welcome back to WBGU 88.1 FM. 40-23 the score in favor of the home team. 4:39 to play in the half. And entering today's game, Lexi Fleming's career high in threes made in a contest was 4. She has 6 today.
Yeah, and she's been finding just great open shots that have come through the offense, great flow of the offense to get her into these open shots that she's been knocking down at an incredible rate. You don't see shooting splits like this very often, and if you want to be if you're Bowling Green, you want to continue that hot hand shooting tonight.
Yes, and then looking at Kent State, their leading scorer is Deanna Gray right now. She has 8 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, and then Jenna Batch right behind her with 7. She's 3 of 8 from the floor.
And Batch is such an interesting player to watch. She's so tall at 6'2", and she just has such a great shot from around the arc and just all over the court that she makes such big mismatches on the offensive end if you're Bowling Green, because she can spread out the court, and you have then your shot blocker, in this case Porter right now, out standing at the three-point line, or she can go down low if you have to go small.
Kent State has not scored in over 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Bridget Dunn, guarded by Porter. Gets it back to Megan Murray. Gray with it. Up top, Batch. 10 seconds on the Golden Flashes timer. Underneath pass to the hoop. That is no good there by Juzo, and then a whistle. Into the Falcons it goes. Amy Velasco. Inside to Porter. Working the near block. Pump fakes, goes up with it, and gets that to fall. 19-point advantage, and then a bad pass there goes out of bounds. A little bit of miscommunication, and right back to the Falcons it goes. 6th turnover of the game by the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, Gray was looking for Batch cutting through down low, and she just stopped as that pass was made.
Cecil with the basketball. Velasco. Now it's Fleming dribbling up top. Around the arc, back to Velasco. Quick pass it underneath. Erica Porter spinning around in the middle. Pink gets it to fall on top of the foul.
Way to finish through contact over 2 players.
We'll see who they assign the foul to. I think it's Bianca Juzo. Journey Hildebrand was also there underneath. So at the line to shoot one is Erica Porter, trying to convert the good old-fashioned three-point play. Kohler, Fleming, Porter, Donahue, and Cecil on the floor for the orange and brown. Porter. No good on her free throw, so it stays 44-23. To Kent State it goes. Murray up the floor. Gets it back to Gray. Approaching 3 minutes to play in the first half. Bridget Dunn. Batch tightly guarded off the Thomas ball screen. She'll drive to the hoop, and no good on her shot. Erica Porter there to rebound it defensively. Kohler finds Fleming, back inside to Porter. Porter to the hoop, and she's going to hit another one underneath. Beat the hot hands. 46-23. Falcons doubling up the Golden Flashes in points. Batch driving the baseline to Thomas, and that's going to be deflected in the air by Donahue, and out of bounds, say the officials. Megan Murray's back foot was on the sideline, and nothing is going right, Foster, for the road team.
And you can say the exact opposite. Everything is going right for Bowling Green right now. They're hitting their shots. They're finding mismatches on the offensive end, and they're just playing great team basketball right now.
It's Lexi Fleming with the basketball. Kohler. Now to Cecil. Back to Kohler. Donahue, high pass to the corner. Fleming to Cecil. 5 seconds to shoot it for the Falcons. Fleming back up top. Paige Kohler, very deep three. Short and no good. And then a tip drill, and Cecil is going to get tangled up with Deanna Gray for a jump ball at the 1:59 mark. It'll be Golden Flashes basketball as they have the possession arrow in their favor. Thomas. Now to Batch. Guarded by Kohler. Batch backing away, takes a shot and gets it to fall off the glass from just beyond the far block. 90 seconds until the intermission. That ends the scoring drought for Kent State. And then a whistle, and we're getting a moving screen committed by the Falcons. It's Janaea Donahue, the guilty party.
They have called those all night long on Bowling Green. And you just got to learn, if you're the Falcons, you got to know that they're calling those so tightly you cannot move at all when you're setting a screen.
She'll go out of the game for Amy Velasco. Done. Over to Thomas. Sees space. Nice pass to Batch. Whistle. Foul. Count the bucket. Tatiana Thomas had it at the near block. Didn't see a lane, so she just moved it over to Batch.
Yeah, and that was great vision to get down low and find a nice wraparound pass to Bash, who has a mismatch as Kohler's guarding her right now. She's been able to get down low into the paint because of her height.
Batch from Loveland misses her free throw. Rare miss for her. 60 seconds until the intermission. 46-27 the tally. It's Amy Velasco with the basketball. 10 seconds on the Falcons timer. Velasco tightly guarded. Move it over. Kohler, a lot of space on her three from the near wing. That's no good. Didn't graze the rim. And out of bounds, it goes right in front of Layla Harrison. So with 43.4 seconds to play, it'll be Kent State ball. Falcons have cooled off from beyond the arc. There's 2 of 6 this quarter. After starting 7 of 10. Fade away for Batch, and she gets it to fall. It touched every part of the rim, and the deficit is now at 17. Erica Porter. Now Paige Kohler dribbling. Shot clock is off with 10 seconds left in the half. Kohler. 3 seconds now. She's going to dribble around. 2 seconds. Kohler takes the three at the buzzer. Short and no good it goes from the top of the key. So 46-29 winds up being the score after the first 20 minutes of gameplay here in the Stroh Center. A 3-point barrage for the orange and brown. Kate Knapp, Foster Rostai will be back in a few minutes to recap half number 1 and look ahead to half number 2. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on their exclusive radio home, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Women's golf heads to Albine, Texas for the West Texas Classic Monday, March 3rd and Tuesday, March 4th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Coyle Withrow will have a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
I'm Levi Gazaric, a senior tight end, and my Falcon 4 camp essentials are electrolytes, a gallon of water, sunflower seeds, and Nerds gummy clusters. Go Falcons.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Hey there, Wood County families.
Make sure to join us here on WBGU Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. for Family Radio.
Stop it.
You'll hear family-oriented content including fun children's music, comedy bits, and educational segments for all ages.
On the surface, that sounds perfectly pleasant.
That's Family Radio, broadcasting live from the campus of Bowling Green State University, and only on
WBGU Family Radio.
In Bowling Green football's 41-17 season opening victory over Fordham on August 29th, junior Justin Pace set a program record with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown on the first play of the game. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus had the call on Falcon Radio.
Go back up and field it on the goal line. Trying to take to the right, got some blocks, got a hole. Peg was down the far sideline, and he's got space in front of him. 10, 5, touchdown BG brings back the opening kickoff. What a way to start the season.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU women's basketball hosts the Kent State Golden Flashes on Wednesday, March 5th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Caden Knapp will be on the call at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey there, Wood County families! Make sure to join us here on WBGU Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. for Family Radio. You'll hear family-oriented content, including fun children's music, comedy bits, and educational segments for all ages.
Let the games begin!
That's Family Radio, broadcasting live from the campus of Bowling Green State University and 88.1 FM WBGU HD1, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Oh, is there anything they won't do?
My name is Malcolm Johnson Jr., senior wide receiver, and my Falcon 4 favorite NFL teams are the Ravens, because it's in my hometown, the Texans, because Stephon Diggs, and he's from Maryland, the New York Giants, because, well, I love their colors, and the Commanders, because my favorite NFL player is Sean Taylor. Go Falcons.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cochran Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Cochran Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
(46-29) is the score at halftime here in the Stroh Center. The BGSU Falcons out in front of this one thanks to their threes. Caden Knapp, Foster Rossite, glad to be with you on this Wednesday night. The Falcons, though, finished that first half without points for the final 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Kent State scored 6 across that. So, Foster, start this half. You know the question I'm going to ask you is if you had one word to describe half number one, and I think I know where you're going to go with this. What word would you use?
Unstoppable, maybe? I think the Falcons, they're just their offense, the way it's been clicking, especially with Flexi Fleming shooting so far tonight. It's hard to slow that kind of night down if you're Kent State.
Yeah, speaking on shooting from three-point land, the Falcons went 9 of 17 in the first half from that vantage point. However, They just went 2 of 7 after starting the game 7 of 10 from three-point range. We mentioned how important the three ball would be in the pregame, and you mentioned it in your keys. You know, you look at Kent State, they're just 2 of 7 from beyond the arc for the entirety of the game so far.
Yeah, and what Bowling Green has done is they've really expanded that defense to make sure that Kent State can't get a three off without there being at least 1 or 2 defenders around in the area where to contest. So by doing that, they've made it so Kent State can't get off good contested threes, and they've hit a couple of them. That's going to happen. But they've made it so Kent State has to take the ball down low and take twos, while Bowling Green's been able to really extend the three-point line and make three-point shots.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job at disrupting Kent State's offense, because when they're feeling it, they go on these big runs all the time. Another thing to look at is the assist category. The Falcons have a total of 10 to the Golden Flash's 4, and that's a huge reason why you see the disparity in the three-point shots. And another thing is the rebounding. Falcons with 18 to the Golden Flash's 14. Paige Kohler has had some really big ones underneath defensively.
Yeah, and Paige Kohler's always been just such a good defensive rebounder. She's always willing to go down low, jump up, and grab the board, because once she does that, she knows she can turn and look up the court for someone sprinting down for a full court pass. And that's why those assists are so high. Not because of full court passes, because you haven't seen many of those today, but because of the way they've been running their offense. They've been getting rebounds, they've been getting out and running, and then getting the Kent State defense out of position so that they can then find a wide open Fleming, a wide open Kohler for a three, or for getting down low to Porter, who's 3 for 3 from the field and was really getting heated up at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and another thing that those threes open up is the paint game, really, and the mid-range game. The Falcons going 18 of 31 from the floor in total, and that's good for 58% in total. In Kent State, 12 of 28 as a team. And you know how it works, Foster basketball. If you are hitting your threes, then they're going to be playing up, which opens stuff up underneath, which is a big reason why Erica Porter had those big buckets.
Yeah, those threes, especially early in the game, started to send 2 players out at Fleming because of just the way she's playing so well. So they wanted to shut that off, but that then opened up down low play for Porter to have a smaller guard switch onto her, and that way she could just turn around, face up that guard, and go straight up and over him, because not many players can match up with Porter's height.
Yeah, and another thing to note is both these teams obviously adjusting during the halftime break. Kent State is a team that is very good at making halftime adjustments. We saw it right in front of our eyes on New Year's Day, because you know the Golden Flashes in the first half and the first meeting had just didn't really score that many points, and then they exploded out to 52 second half points and hit 5 second half threes after 1 in the first half.
Yeah, and what it's going to be for Bowling Green is to stay true to what they are as a team. They're going to have to get the rebound and then get running into their offense early, because that's what's been working. Kent State is going to look to really disrupt their defense, and that means keeping some pressure on them full court off of a rebound. They're going to keep one on them, I'd say, so that when you get that board, you're going to have to turn, look, find that defender who's coming to pick you up, and then get a pass off and move the ball passing-wise instead of running it up. Because when you have those passes, those full-court passes that you're going to have, you're going to get the Kent State defense back out of rhythm, back out of sync, and then you're going to have even more shots, and probably down low because of how fast you're going to be playing that.
Another thing to note, the Falcons have outscored their opponents in the third quarter by 4 points this season, Kent State by 64.
That is a very concerning thing if you're Bowling Green, because obviously 4 points outscoring in the third, with Kent State being such a good third quarter team, you're going to have to come out and be ready for anything that Kent throws your way, because they're down right now and they're going to fight with everything they've got to get back into this game by the fourth quarter.
And as you said during the pregame, that BG had a very good lead against NIU, and of course NIU ended up coming back and winning. So that is in the forefront of their minds right now. So they have kind of a blueprint of things not to do and what to adjust.
Yeah, and Bowling Green, they have to think about that, but they have to think about the things that they can do to fix it. They can't think about, we've blew a lead before, let's not do it again. They can't be thinking about blowing a lead. they have to think about what they can do better that happen in that lead, so that you don't want to think negative things if you're a team with this big of a lead like Bowling Green is. What you want to do is you want to come out here and you just want to compete and you want to execute everything that you talked about in the locker room, which is probably more three-point shooting because of how good it's been so far.
And right before we go to break and come back for the second half, I'm going to go through our stat rundown. Right now, of course, Lexi Fleming scored 21 points in the first quarter alone, went 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. She finished the half with 21 points and 3 assists. Paige Kohler finishes the half with 10 points, 4 of 8 from the floor. She has 4 rebounds. That's a team high, and she has 3 assists as well. Velasco, 5 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Those are the leaders for the Falcons. And then you look at the Golden Flashes. They have Jenna Bash with 13 points, 6 of 12 from the floor. Right behind her is Deanna Gray with 8, and then Tatiana Thomas has 6. Their leading rebound getter with 3 has been Maya Babbitt. Caden Knapp, Foster Ross Day. It's 46-29. We're going to step aside and come right back to WBGU 88.1 FM for half number 2 of this one. Don't go anywhere.
Falcon women's basketball heads up to Ypsilanti for a battle with the Eastern Michigan Eagles on Saturday, March 8th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer for the call at 1:45 for pregame and 2 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Black Swan Players of Bowling Green is dedicated to the advancement of amateur theatrics, including production of live theater as well as various educational opportunities involving the arts. Founded in 1965, the organization provides high-quality amateur live theater as well as opportunities to the cast, crews, and the viewing public. Visit blackswanplayers.org for more information.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
We are back here in Bowling Green, Ohio to start half number 2 between the Golden Flashes and the Falcons, with the Falcons leading it 46-29. Caden Knapp, Foster Rostai. Glad to be with you on this Wednesday night. It's raining outside, and metaphorically, it's raining in here, thanks to the three-point shot. Of course, we've mentioned that a lot, but how could you not? It's glaring at us.
Yeah, you can't not mention it for Bowling Green because it's been the catalyst to set this team forward so far, and it's opened everything up for the Falcons. The three-point arc has just been so prolific that the inside shot making down low with Porter has opened everything up for her. She's been able to get 3 shots off, make all 3 of them, and get an and-one opportunity. Because of how good they're shooting, everything's opened up for the Falcons.
It's worth noting the Falcons 13-2 this season when they hit 33% or more of their three-point shots. They'll start with the basketball now, going to the eastern side of the Stroh Center. Paige Kohler receives the inbounds. Falcons starting 5 out on the floor. Kent State saying the same thing as that goes out of bounds. Bowling Green will keep it. Paige Kohler fell down. Inbound goes to Porter in the paint. Had that tipped away by Batch. Other side of the floor. It's a 4-on-1 setup, and Batch making moves. No good. Couldn't get it around Porter, and then she gets the rebound and gets it ahead quickly to Amy Velasco.
And way to guard the fast break without fouling. Goes straight up and runs in front so that nobody can get a foul called.
Guy to the baseline, Donahue making nice moves around Dunn, but no good. It goes. And then it's going to go out of bounds in the far corner. Last touch by Erica Parter, who went crashing down to the floor.
Yeah, and way to hustle for the rebound, but I'd like to see grab that and try to make a attempt back inbounds rather than let the ref make a decision.
Falcons scoring drought over 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Putting on a full court press as Taya Ellis entered the game for Erica Porter. Gray to Batch. Double team, stopped her dribble, gets it back out to Gray. Finds Batch again. 60 seconds has gone by in this third quarter. Batch creating space for herself. Hits the three for the top of the key. 46-32, 14-point deficit. It's Fleming. Back the other way to Paige Kohler. Ellis. Back to Kohler, take a three, and that's no good off the front iron. She shot it from the far wing, and the rebound made by Tatiana Thomas, the 5'10 junior. This feels like a big possession in the early goings of this half. To the hoop, and that's going to fall. Deanna Gray drove from the near wing and put it in. 12-point game. We're going to step aside for legal ID.
Hey, it's Reese Patricus, and you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
8 minutes to go in the third quarter, 46-34 the score. Kent State right now on an 11-0 run over the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Ellis with 4 seconds to shoot it. It's going to move it out to Kohler, falling down now at one. Turn around, Jay falls somehow. Paige Kohler made something out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the offense broke down there, and Paige Kohler just hit a very tough shot to keep the offense, get them back on the board.
Dunn over to Batch. Back to Dunn, inside to Thomas. Driving from the charity stripe line, and she'll be fouled going up with it. Taya Ellis will be the guilty party. What a shot, though, by Paige Kohler on the other end with 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah, that was a very difficult shot with a hand in the face, fading away, kind of standing up from a falling position, and still hitting it.
First free throw is good for Tatiana Thomas. She's now 3 of 4 from the line today. Kent State as a team, 78.8%. Second free throw is good as well, so 2 for 2 trip. 48-36. Fleming back to Donahue the other way. Driving from the far wing and had that batted away from behind by Maya Babbitt. Now to bounds it goes. Fleming. Finding Kohler, gets it back to Fleming. 10 seconds of the Falcons timer. Velasco takes a three from the near. Wait, that falls! Amy Velasco, 51-36. 8 points for the senior. Batch on the other end, short on her turnaround, Jay, from just beyond the near block. Donahue winds up with it. Velasco takes another three, and it's no good.
I don't think that was a three. I think she decided last second she wanted to pass that down to Ellis.
No good that time for Gray. Velasco gets it from Kohler, no good, and then Ellis is going to have it tipped away out of bounds. But yeah, I mean, Amy Velasco loaded up like she was going to take the three, and then it kind of just fluttered down.
I think the contest of the defenders contesting kind of made her think otherwise to shoot that.
Yeah.
But she was already in motion, so you couldn't really back out, so you had to make that shot look like a pass.
Paige Kohler with the basketball, takes a deep three from the far wing. No good, that goes. And then out of bounds off of Taya Ellis. Meanwhile, Journey Hildebrand enters the game for Tatiana Thomas. Freshman for junior exchange. 6:21 to play in the third. Kidnap Foster Rosti. This is WBGU 88.1 FM. Batch Guarded by Kohler. Driving to the MAC logo, and she's going to put it in. Nice little runner for her. 18 points. Kohler gets it back. Now around the arc, and once again, Falcons driving. Donahue along the baseline, gets it to Ellis. Nice feed, and then the finish.
That was a great find. Knew the second defender stepped over. Wrap around to Ellis down low for the easy layup.
Done. Back to Batch. Finding Gray. Spinning around. Now she's going to move it out to Dunn. Wide open, long two. That's going to fall from the near side. She splashed that one in. Velasco. Dribble drives. Stops in the middle of the paint, moves it out to Kohler, taking a three in and out. That goes from the near corner, but Ellis the rebound, and then a foul will be called. And that will bring us to our third quarter media timeout. 4:57 to play. 53-40 the score. And guess what, Foster? This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
The premier community theater of Bowling Green is the Black Swamp Players. For over 50 years, Black Swamp Players has been dedicated to the advancement of amateur theatrics, including production of live theater as well as various educational opportunities involving the arts. BSP is a nonprofit organization whose volunteer membership is open to any person regardless of age, religion, sexual orientation, or race. Visit blackswamplayers.org.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Both teams break their respective huddles, which means it's time to play basketball again. 53-40 the score, still in favor of the orange and brown. 4:57 to go in the third quarter. Caden Knapp, Foster, Ross Dye. A good crowd here in Bowling Green, Ohio. Last home game of the season for the orange and brown.
Yeah, it's been such a great season overall for this team as they get ready to go into MAC play. This game, they have to go up to Eastern Michigan, but then they're going to Cleveland, going to play in the MAC tournament where they have, once you get there, anything is possible. They have a great shot at doing some real damage in that tournament.
Still waiting for the officials. It's been a game that has been dominated by the Falcons, to say the least. The interesting start, though, to this second half. Kent State scoring 11 in the third so far. The Falcons of Bowling Green scoring 7. Interesting note is Deanna Gray, who has 1 turnover today, has been really a big leader for this team in the sense of they're 10-0 when she has 4 or less turnovers this season.
Yeah, and that's just what having such a dominant point guard means. If you can keep that ball in her hands and just make sure she doesn't lose it, you have a great opportunity.
Inbound goes to Paige Kohler, who puts in the long two from the near side.
That's a great draw up from out of a timeout play.
Babbitt, 3. That falls from the near wing. We're trading buckets. It's Amy Velasco. Naya Donahue finding Lexi Fleming. Still hasn't scored since the first quarter. She's going full steam ahead at the hoop from the far wing, and she's going to lay it in from the block. 23 points for the fifth year, and then it's taken away from behind. Paige Kohler wound up with it. Now ahead, there's Velasco getting out of trouble, weaving and bobbing around defenders. She's going to drive right back to the hoop, and her pass is going to be intercepted in the middle of the paint by Bridget Dunn. A lot of space on that. Hildebrand three from the near side corner. It falls. 11-point contest.
And that's not the greatest fast break defense if you're Bowling Green, not knowing where an offensive player is.
Timeout called by head coach Fred Shamil in his second season heading up this Falcons women's basketball team. 3:50 to go in the third quarter, 57-46. The score this time out is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, proud carriers of Ale Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics and available at Juniper Brewing Company on South Main Street in Northwest Ohio. Kroger scores. Details at juniperbrew.com. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
On November 30th, 2024, BGSU women's basketball defeated Arkansas 79-78. The win over the SEC opponent was arguably the biggest of the Fred Shamil era in Bowling Green. Falcon Media Sports Network's Caden Knapp had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Tightly guarded by Velasco. 5 seconds on the clock. Passing out. There's a three from the far side wing. No good. It's no good. Laura Gurka gets the rebound, and the BGSU Falcons have defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks, coming back from 14 down to win 79-78. A huge team win.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Back here in the Stroh Center, out of the Falcons timeout, 57-46. Home team still out in front of this one with 3:50 to go in the third quarter. Quick math tells you both these teams are a combined, Foster, 7 of their last 9 from the floor. So a lot of good basketball in this second half so far.
And a lot of tough shots from Bowling Green that they've made. Well, Kent State has got some really good buckets on fast break transition buckets, 2 threes in transition with nobody guarding them. That's the kind of shot you want if you're Kent State, to really bring yourself back into this game.
Waiting for Kent State to break their huddle. Falcons all ready to go. It's Ellis, Donahue, Kohler, Velasco, and Fleming on the floor. Hildebrand, Dunn, Gray, Batch, and Babbitt on the floor for the Golden Flashes. Velasco set to inbound from the 3/4 of a court line in front of assistant coach Maggie Lucas. Inbound goes to Janaea Donahue, who lost her dribble, and it's going to go out of bounds. A lot of pressure put on by Deanna Gray.
They're going to get a sub for Donahue, who's holding her ankle right now.
Limps over to the bench. Coach Maggie Lucas and John Nicolay helping her. Now Matt St. Louis, our athletic trainer, talking to her. Hopefully she is okay. She looks very upset right now.
And that was a no contact either. There was nobody made any contact with her, and she instantly grabbed that ankle.
Babbitt. Now Batch takes it from the far elbow. That's short, no good. Paige Kohler the rebound, then she falls to the ground, and then it's fouled. A little too physical there for Batch. She was trying to go in and make it so there is a jump ball. The possession arrow is in favor of Kent State right now, but she was a little too physical. There's now our athletic trainer, Matt St. Louis, is helping Nate Donahue, who's limping back to the locker room. They're waiting for a stoppage, or they were. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the third. It's Paige Kohler possessing the basketball. Over to Kieran McGuff, who entered the game for Donahue. Fleming. Driving with 10 seconds to shoot. It had it poked away by Hildebrand. Hildebrand, the other side of the floor, stopped her dribble, and her momentum took her forward anyway. She traveled.
And that's that fast break defense that we needed to shore up these last couple of plays if you're Bowling Green. And they did that, and that just turns over the ball for the Falcons to get it back.
Deanna Gray, the only golden flash in the backcourts for Kohler, now dribbling with the basketball. Velasco, guarded by Batch. Ellis sets a ball screen, move it over to Kohler. A lot of space on her three from the far wing. No good, it goes off the back iron. And then it's poked away by Fleming and right to McGuff, who missed the shot from the far block. Other side of the floor, here goes Batch. Two-step move around Velasco. No good, it goes, but right to Hildebrand, who missed the layup from the far block. And out of bounds it goes at the 2:16 mark. Erica Porter will re-enter the game, taking the place of Taya Ellis. They did say that it was last touched by a Falcon, so Kent State will retain the possession. Inbound goes to Bridget Dunn. Back to Gray, dribbling on the near elbow. Hildebrand. Deanna Gray, dribbling around the arc. 8 seconds on the Golden Flashes timer. Deanna Gray moving out to Babbitt, wide open three, no good, that one goes, and then Fleming the rebound, and then a whistle and a foul. She collided with Journey Hildebrand, who will be the guilty party. That'll be her third personal foul.
And that's what rebounding gets you if you're Bowling Green. You get in there, you rebound defensively, and when Kent State's trying to offensive rebound, which they're very good at, you're going to get fouls called for you.
Lexi Fleming's third rebound of the contest. She's going to feed it inside to Erica Porter, and she traveled a little too good of a move around Bridget Dunn. It goes down as a turnover. The Falcons have not scored in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. The Golden Flashes haven't scored in 1 minute and 37 seconds. So a lot of good defense after the timeout. There's a Batch runner. That falls. And now it's a single-digit game at 57-48. And then a whistle and a foul. Velasco was driving, and they're going to get Jenna Batch. That's the team's fifth foul, or fourth team foul, excuse me. They had adjusted the scoreboard very quickly there. 1:17 until quarter break. Velasco now out to Fleming. Gets it back to Velasco. Now it's Kohler driving from the near wing inside to Porter. 8 seconds to shoot it. Velasco making moves. 5 seconds down the clock. Jump stop underneath. Nice pass. And Kieran McGuff finishes.
Way to stay cool under pressure there. Velasco gets down deep in the shot clock and finds a wide open player, Kieran McGuff, under for an easy layup.
Batch now to the corner. Gray driving the baseline, moves it over to Thomas, and no good on her wide open layup. Porter there to rebound it.
Porter and McGuff both fighting over that rebound at the same time. That's what you want if you're Bowling Green, team rebounding.
13 seconds separate the game clock and the shot clock. And now we're going to have a kickball violation. Denver Batch kicked away Amy Velasco's pass with 29.6 seconds to go. And with that, Emily Cecil will enter the game for Amy Velasco. Cecil gets it into Paige Kohler. And then that is cut off and poked away out of bounds into the Falcons bench. Jenna Batch last to touch it. Pass was very telegraphed. Erica Porter driving the paint. Double team. Goes up with it anyway, and then it's fouled. She'll get 2 free throws. We'll see who they assign it to. It's going to be Tatiana Thomas. 19.4 seconds until quarter break. Erica Porter 0 of 1 so far today from the charity stripe. She has 6 points. 3 of 3 from the floor, though. She's well on her way to setting the record for field goal percentage in a career here at BGSU.
She's just been such a dominant presence down low, and like tonight where she has 3 shots made and 3 shots taken, it's been so helpful for this Bowling Green Falcons team.
Porter's first free throw is no good. 59-48 stays the score. And Foster, you got to help, but you can't help but wonder if Tyler and Rismiller being out for Kent State is playing a huge factor in this one, as free throw number 2 is good.
Yeah, you obviously, when you're missing starters, you can always say, yeah, that hurts us. But you're such a good team. You have to, your injuries are going to happen. You got to rely on your backups. You got to make sure that they're ready to go at a moment's notice as well.
10 seconds until quarter break. Batch guarded by Layla Harrison. Batch driving on the freshman to the hoop. She goes, and she'll be fouled going up with it with 3.8 seconds.
That was a very close one. Harrison did such a good job of defending all the way with 3 seconds left on the clock, and there's a foul called.
Interesting note with Janae Tyler is she also missed the last 2 games of the regular season last year. Then she had an absolutely fantastic MAC tournament as Jenna Bash misses her first free throw. This year she's 89.8% from that vantage point. 0 of 2 so far as she hits her first free throw of the game to go 1 of 3. 60-49. Full court press put on by the Golden Flashes. Kohler got to get it in 5 seconds. She will to Emily Cecil. Crossing the midcourt stripe. Launches up one at the buzzer. And no good. It goes. So it's 60-49. The Orange Brown are out in front of this one, heading to the final 10 minutes of regulation. Kaden Knapp, Foster Rossite, WBGU 88.1 FM. Do not go anywhere. This is a good one.
Falcon softball travels to take on IU-ND on Saturday, March 8 at 5 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Henry Costco will have a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
Black Swamp Players of Bowling Green is dedicated to the advancement of amateur theatrics, including production of live theater as well as various educational opportunities involving the arts. Founded in 1965, the organization provides high-quality amateur live theater as well as opportunities to the cast, crews, and the viewing public. BSP is a nonprofit organization whose volunteer membership is open to any person, regardless of age, religion, sexual orientation, or race. Visit blackswampplayers.org for more information.
To listen to replays of recent Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts, tune in to WBGU 88.1 FM every weekday morning from midnight to 3 a.m. Quarter number 4 is here, and it is 60-49 in favor of the Falcons. Looking at the point breakdown, the Falcons scored 30 in the first quarter, 16 in the second, then 14 in the third. The Golden Flashes 18 in the first, 11 in the second, and then 20 in the third. Kaden Knapp, Foster Rostai, and Foster, who are a few players that are in contention for BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide Player of the Game.
Well, I think Fleming is the front runner for that right now. 23 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 6 of 9 for 3, with 4 assists and 2 rebounds. I think she's been just such an important part to this team so far today.
She really has. She's also played the entirety of the 30 minutes. Only player on the Falcons that can say that. Batch and Gray have also played 30 minutes. Interesting note with Jenna Batch is she is very high in the MAC when it comes to minutes per game. She's 8th in the MAC in that category. Batch will inbound it right in front of us. Inbound goes to Gray. We're back underway. Golden Flashes have outscored their opponents by 122 points in the fourth quarter this season. Batch's shot is no good, and somehow Erica Porter wound up with it. The Falcons have been outscored by 17 in the fourth this season. Trying to hold on and get a huge momentum win. Lexi Fleming working the far wing. 8 seconds on the Falcons timer. Inside it goes to Erica Porter, driving the baseline. Double team. McGuff wide open, is fouled from behind.
A late call as well.
Yes.
Waited till after Kent State got the rebound, but foul nonetheless.
Jenna Batch, the guilty party. I mean, it was almost one of those that was where it was so egregious, both officials were like, wait, neither of us blew the whistle. Hold on a second. And then one of them ended up doing so at the end.
It was also such a great find by Porter. Down low, doubled. McGuff cuts to an open spot, and she gets fouled for a layup attempt that is fouled, and now it's at the line, where she makes the first one.
Guff's second free throw is no good. In and out it went, and then out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Tatiana Thomas.
And that's a way to stick to it on the offensive board, going after it to try and get a second opportunity. And you're getting a second opportunity even though you didn't rebound the ball.
Velasco inbound it from the G and green, east side of the gym. Kohler finding Amy Velasco. Lob it inside. 8 seconds again on the Falcons timer. Porter tightly guarded by Dunn. Got it to sneak in over the front iron. 14-point lead. And then a whistle and offensive foul in the other end.
A moving screen. They've been calling those kinds of things all night, and they called one. That's a backbreaker for Kent State. Trying to break this Falcons run, and you get called, and the Falcons go back and have an opportunity to make the lead bigger.
And then Kohler almost had that taken away. Now Velasco driving, puts it in from the far side block. Falcons have reeled off 5 consecutive to start this quarter, and then fast break on the other end, and Tatiana Thomas puts it in.
And what a find. What a great pass right to where it needs to be for the offensive player.
Velasco, whistle, foul, count that basket. She put it in from the mid-range to get into double digits scoring-wise.
And the tempo has just picked up in the fourth quarter. So fast pace of play right now for both teams. Full court passes to make easy buckets, and now Falcons at the line.
Velasco first in the MAC and free throw percentage, puts in her free throw. $17-point game. And with that, Janaea Donahue will re-enter the game. So good to see that. After she went to the locker room earlier, wide open lane to the hoop. Tatiana Thomas is going to put it in from the near block. Fleming. Tightly guarded by Gray. Off the ball screen, she's going to drive to the hoop, straight ahead, get it to snake in. 25 points for number 25. Batch will be fouled driving. Paige Kohler, the guilty party. The team's first foul of this quarter. That will be Kohler's first as well.
And that's a rough one for Kohler. She gives up such a height difference to Batch. She's got to try so much more to defend at such a high level there, and she's going to get called for a foul like that.
Batch backing away. 7:40 to go in regulation. Batch still dribbling. Stops it. Moves it over to Gray. Gray, 3 seconds to shoot it, now at 2, and it poked away by Porter, and they won't get a shot off before the expiration of the shot clock.
And that's some great defense. Everybody stayed down. Nobody jumped early. Everyone was staying in front of their person, communicating through screens and communicating dead balls.
will go down as another turnover. 11 for Kent State today. Fleming driving, now out to Donahue, wide open three from the near corner. That falls! Janaea Donahue, 20-point advantage! Welcome back to the game.
When it rains, it pours. Donahue hitting a three is something if you're Kent State, you can't do anything about that.
Batch double teamed. Coach Todd Starkey yelling out instructions. Thomas driving, 5 seconds to shoot it, has it blocked away by Erica Porter. She said no.
An emphatic block. Kent State does keep the ball with 3 seconds left on the clock, though, for them to score.
This has been an all-around team effort for the orange and brown as the inbound goes to Batch, and she'll be fouled going up with it. Janaea Donahue, the guilty party.
And that's something you cannot have. You have so little time on the clock. You played such good defense for 27 of the 30 seconds with a block. And then to get your hand in there last second on an inbound play, it's just something coach is not going to be happy about.
First free throw is good for Jenna Batch. She has scored double-digit points in now 29 consecutive games. Only game this season she hasn't was the first game when she scored 8. The second free throw is good to put the deficit at 18. Paige Kohler gets it to Velasco, crosses the midcourt stripe. Back to Paige Kohler it goes. Now it's Fleming with it. The Falcons just taking their time, slowing down the tempo. They've hit 6 of their last 7 from the floor. Velasco on the run. Nice two-step move, but Tatiana Thomas rejected that layup.
Yeah, and they're going to work this clock down even more as the game comes to an end with 6:39 left to play.
Inbound is going to be poked away, and out of bounds it goes. Paige Kohler the last to touch it. Porter and Thomas were fighting for it for a second, and it took a weird bounce. 6 minutes to play. Yana Gray back to Jenna Batch. Finds Hildebrand, back to Batch. Driving, take the long two from the near side. That's no good. Paige Kohler the rebound right in front of the baseline. Paige Kohler, a team-high 7 rebounds tonight. She also has 14 points and 3 assists to add to it. Velasco now over to Kohler, takes the three. That falls for the far wing. Just snuck in over the front iron.
It was such a good steal attempt by Gray. She got it away, but as soon as she got it away, she lost it to Velasco, who found the wide open Kohler.
Hildebrand no good on the other end. Velasco gets across half court. Now finding Paige Kohler. Kohler into Porter. Back to Paige Kohler. 8 seconds on the Falcons timer. Halfway through the fourth quarter. Kohler dribbling around. Now at 3 seconds. Driving. Nice two-step move, but it's blocked away with 1 second to shoot it. Nice effort there by Bridget Dunn. And that'll bring us to our final media timeout with 4:58 to play in this one. It's 76-55 in favor of the Falcons. Caden Knapp, Foster Rostide. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
The premier community theater of Bowling Green is the Black Swamp Players. For over 50 years, Black Swamp Players has been dedicated to the advancement of amateur theatrics, including production of live theater as well as various educational opportunities involving the arts. BSP is a nonprofit organization whose volunteer membership is open to any person regardless of age, religion, sexual orientation, or race. For more information or to volunteer, visit blackswampplayers.org.
76-55 the score, 4:58 to go in the fourth quarter. The Falcons out in front of this one. Caden Knapp, Foster, Rossite. And Foster, I'm about to throw a bunch of 10s at you. Paige Kohler wears number 10. She is 10th in the MAC in assists, 10th in the MAC in three-point percentage. She's also 10th in the MAC in defensive rebounds. And last time against Kent State on New Year's Day, she scored 10 points.
Well, that's the perfect number for her to wear then if she's going to put herself at 10 in everything. And that's great rankings to have. Just top 10 in everything for this Falcons team is great to have.
Yep. She has 17 total points in this one and 7 rebounds. 7 of 16 from the floor. She also has a steal on top of that. Her and Lexi Fleming are definitely the two front runners for a BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide Player of the Game. Fleming still has 25 points, 9 of 12 from the floor, with her 3 misses being from beyond the arc. She also is tied with Velasco for the team lead in assists with 6.
You're going to have to get up a quick shot here if you're Bowling Green. 1 second left on the clock. Get yourself to one quick shot. It's got to be a catch and release.
We'll see who they get it into. Kohler will be the inbounder. She's going to lob it in for Porter, and no shot will be taken. Good defense by Bridget Dunn. Shot clock violation. Kent State has not scored in 98 seconds. Fleming, the only Falcon in the Golden Flash's backcourt. And then she's going to poke it away out of bounds. Gray was the target of Batch's inbound, and now Falcons bring on more pressure. Deanna Gray crossing the midcourt stripe. Batch to the corner, gets it back. She's going to drive from the far wing to the hoop, and no good from the cherry stripe. And another rebound for Paige Kohler. She's 2 away from a double-double. Velasco driving the outstretch of the paint, no good, and the rebound made by Porter, and she's going to put it back in, 78-55.
That's great positioning after the missed layup to be right where she needs to be to get an easy shot.
And then Fleming is going to tap that one away from Deanna Gray. Out of bounds it goes. And Deanna Gray still has that one turnover, but her undefeated streak when she has 4 or less is on the line, as that 3 is no good for Bridget Dunn from the near corner, but Gray the rebound and no good on her layup, falling away. And then Fleming somehow wound up with it. Other side of the floor, full steam ahead, one end to another, coast to coast. Too much power under her layup. Hildebrand was there defensively. Batch, under 4 minutes to play. Drives to the hoop, takes the mid-range J, and splashes it home. And with that, Coach Todd Starkey will use a timeout with the score 78-57. Caden Foster Rostai. This is just a quick 30-second timeout, so we will stay right here on air. And the Falcons awfully close to getting a victory in this one. Last time they beat Kent State at the Stroh Center was Saturday, January 21st of 2023. They won 66-57. That was Coach Robin Freilic's last season, excuse me. That was also the year they had that big WNIT run.
What a great run that was as well for the Falcons.
Full court press brought on. Amy Velasco. We'll see what the Falcons do with the tempo. They scored 18 points this quarter to Kent State's 8. Velasco's going to be fouled while driving. That's the 4th foul of the quarter committed by the Golden Flashes. They're going to have a whole slew of new players enter the game in Juzo, Babbitt, and Murray.
And going very small, getting their 2 6-foot-plus players off the court.
Batch and Dunn. Also going out is Gray. That foul was assigned to Bridget Dunn. Porter in the short corner. Driving, goes up with it, and she's going to be fouled by Tatiana Thomas. So more free throws, and now 4 new Falcons will enter the game. Coach Emil wanted to send in 5 new ones, but can't sub out Erica Porter. She's at the charity stripe right now. Jasmine Byrne, Emily Cecil, Kieran McGuff, and Layla Harrison into the game. Velasco, Donahue, Kohler, and Fleming to the bench. The Falcons well on their way to 17-12 as Erica Porter puts in the first free throw. 10-7 in MAC play. It'd be their 6th win in their last 7. Shot number 2 also good, and now Kendall Moxie will enter the game for Erica Porter. So the last starter is out of the game at the 3:19 mark of this one. A 23-point advantage for the Falcons. What a response to the loss on Saturday in DeKalb, to say the least.
Yeah, they've done everything they needed to right today. They've shot very well. They've rebounded great. They've been able to pass the ball to open shots.
In and out on that shot for Babbitt, and now a whistle and a foul. Interestingly enough, Maya Babbitt has only played in 23 minutes today, and she entered 7th in the MAC in minutes.
I wonder if it was a matchup thing that they didn't want to run too much of her against somebody that they saw on the opposing side.
Emily Cecil was the guilty party of her second foul. Meanwhile, Christiana Kulachkoska enters the game for Kieran McGuff. Transfer student. Babbitt driving to the hoop. She goes, and that's no good. Now a tip drill, still loose. Tatiana Thomas somehow got it back, and she's going to lay it in. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Kent State entered today with a 3-game winning streak, including a win against first-place Ball State, and 2 large victories against Akron and NIU. Jasmine Byrne launches up a 3, in and out. That goes from the far wing, and then Kulachkoska does a great job at saving that, inbounds right to Emily Cecil with 2 minutes to play. Kulachkoska now driving, nice 2-step move to the hoop, couldn't finish from straight ahead, but Moxie the rebound, and then has it pulled away, back the other way. Here goes Hildebrand. Hildebrand around Cecil. She'll be fouled going up with it and hit the basket. It's 80-61 now.
And that's some good offensive rebounding by the Falcons, by Kulachkoska, to really hustle to get a ball falling out of bounds and get it back in for a second shot opportunity for the Falcons.
Lexi Linton will enter the game for the first time, the senior from West Hampton, New Jersey. Free throw is no good for Hildebrand. Emily Cecil. Now to Layla Harrison. Falcons' entire bench except for Taylor Wallace playing today as Jasmine Byrne lays that in. Murray to the corner. Now to Thomas, takes that shot from the charity stripe line, no good, and the rebound is made by Moxie. 1:17 left to play. And then a little bit of miscommunication, and out of bounds that one goes.
Active hands there by us, Caden. You got to keep your head on a swivel down here.
That went right to me.
Right at you.
I didn't let me hit it. I didn't let it hit me in the face. That's all. That's important. There's a long 2 for Hildebrand. No good, it goes. And the rebound made by Kulachkoska at the 62nd mark. As a reminder, we'll have John Nicolay on air in the post game. He's the scout coach for this game. And then we'll also have our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, Lexi Fleming. So there's a whistle and a foul with 48.9 seconds. Well deserved for Lexi Fleming, I would say. But we had a lot of players who were in contention for it. There's just a great night as Layla Harrison hits her first free throw. Now, for those of you wondering, Miami of Ohio and Central Michigan are knotted at 54 with just under 5 minutes to go in regulation. Falcons need Miami to lose out. On top of them winning out to jump in to the 5 spot. 2-for-2 trip for Layla Harrison. Murray. Now Hildebrand, 33 seconds. Driving to the hoop. She's going to pass it over to Tatiana Thomas. Now a wide open 3 for Murray. That's no good off the front iron. Shot clock is off. An offensive rebound is made by Juzo. And it looks like Kent State is just going to...
They're going to get one more playthrough in.
And that pass is almost an over and back. Linton did a good job at not doing that, and then she launches up an air ball with 4.2 seconds. Falcons' final home game of this season, and it's going to be a well-fought victory. 84-61, the final. Falcons 10-7 in Mid-American Conference play, 17-12 overall. Meanwhile, they snap Kent State's 3-game winning streak. They're now 19-11, 11-6 in MAC play. What an all-around win thanks to a really fantastic start in the three-point barrage. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Kate Knapp, Foster Ross. When I come back on air, I will have assistant coach John Nicolay. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
Wake up every weekday with WBGU and The Morning Show. The Morning Show is a community resource for weekly events, news, sports, weather, interviews with community officials and organizations, birthday and anniversary announcements, and more. The Morning Show broadcasts live Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from the Killeen Center at Bowling Green State University. Listen live every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
Hi, my name is Kate Eigner. I'm number 17 on the women's volleyball team, and my Falcon 4 bucket list places are probably anywhere in British Columbia, Canada, Vail, Colorado in the wintertime, Portofino, and Stockholm, Sweden.
On October 26, 2024, BGSU cornerback Jordan Oladokin snagged 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 in BG's 41-26 win over rival Toledo. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus was on the call on Falcon Radio.
Minute 13 left to go. Ball picked off. Jordan Oladokin. He's got Green in front of him. Jordan Oladokin. 10-5. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Ball game. 41-26. Bowling Green wins this year's edition of the Battle of I-75 up here in the Glass Bowl.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Welcome back to the WBGU 88.1 FM post-game show. The Falcons victorious over the Golden Flashes today, score 84-61. My name is Kate Knapp. I'm joined by assistant coach for the Falcons, John Nicolay, and what a game that was.
Yeah, that was a fun one to be a part of. We wanted another chance at Kent. I thought we did a good job. I mean, we got off to a hot start. That was pretty obvious, but I thought we did a good job of not putting them on the free throw line, defending without fouling. Last time we played at Kent, they got to the free throw line 22 times versus 12 today, and to only limit them to 12 when they're like third in the nation in free throw percentage, I thought that was big.
How did the early three-point barrage kind of open up the rest of the offense throughout the game?
Yeah, I think they were. They didn't have their typical starter at the 5 tonight in their playing, so I don't know if they were a little more concerned with our ability to throw it inside the EP that caused them to collapse a little bit, and then left some open looks, early looks for Lexi and Paige and Amy on the perimeter. But we did a great job of moving the ball quick and trying to get ahead of the possession. We were a little more stagnant in the third quarter coming out of the locker room, but we were able to pick it up in the fourth. But I think them being concerned about us throwing the ball inside, I think we moved the ball quick and didn't let it stick, so we were able to get ahead of the possession and get open looks early.
Another thing that you guys really excelled on in this game was the rebounding category, out-rebounding them 40-28. Yeah. How important was that? Huge.
We actually out-rebounded them the last time we played, but they were a +8 on the board, so we had to do a good job of making sure that we weren't giving them extra possessions because they are so deadly outside from the three-point line. So I thought we did a great job of attacking the glass tonight for sure.
Another big category was that assist category. There's a 10 assist gap there, and it felt like there were certain times where that really opened up really good shots because there was great passing.
Yeah, sure. They got a lot of buckets from Batch kind of doing things off the dribble, off the ball screen, which kind of led to probably not as many assists for them. But yeah, we did a good job of moving the ball around. Again, a little loose in the third quarter, but 'cause I think we had 5 turnovers going into the half, and maybe 4 of the 5 were illegal screens. But there's certainly things that we can pull off of film and look at and tweak and get ready for Eastern on Saturday.
Last question I'll ask you is, how does this game kind of regain momentum for Eastern Michigan and then going into the MAC tournament?
Yeah, we let one slip away at Northern, and prior to that we had the longest winning streak in the MAC. We knew that we definitely let one slip, and we wanted to come out here and kind of make sure that we were very aggressive from the jump, which we were, and see this thing through for 40 minutes and get a win.
Well, thank you for joining me, John, and congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
That was John Nicolay, the assistant coach for the BGSU Falcons women's team. When we return, I'm going to be rejoined by Foster Rosti, and then later we'll have the BGU Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide Player of the Game, Lexi Fleming, on air. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
Don't miss the morning show on WBGU FM every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. Join the morning show team weekday mornings to hear about local news, local weather reports, community programming, financial market reports, coaches show with coaches from BGSU and BGHS, and live newsmaker interviews. Listen live every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com. This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
Hello, Falcons. I'm Dontrez Brown. I play defensive line here, and my Falcon 4 favorite TV shows is SpongeBob, Regular Show, Adventure Time, and iCarly. I like SpongeBob because, just growing up, just seeing it on TV, it just made me laugh, and it still makes me laugh today. Adventure Time and Regular Show is kind of a mix. They just always have me laughing. And then iCarly, Sam Puckett is super funny, so. Go Falcons.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center. Once again, the final score 84-61. Caden, Nat, Foster, Rostai, and Foster to get us started. What were your takeaways from this one?
Well, that one was something that Bowling Green needed. That was all cylinders firing for the Falcons. From 3, from inside the arc, rebounds, assists, everything that they needed to do to really right the ship from that last NIU game they did. And that's something that's going to really carry on. If they keep this kind of shooting, if they shoot this way the rest of the season and into MAC play, they're going to be a very dangerous team, even more dangerous than they are right now.
Yeah, it was just a great game. Now you have 2 consecutive home games where you hit over 10 threes in a contest. They hit 12 today, 12 to 25, and they hit 18 against Ohio the other day. And, this is a game that going in, we were talking about it off air, that, like you said, they kind of just needed to win, especially going into the Eastern Michigan, which is a very winnable game for them. And then, of course, up next is the MAC tournament next week. Hard to believe already that Wednesday will be their first game. And, speaking of the Mid-American Conference, you have some scores brought up.
I do. We have Central Michigan leading Miami right now with 22 seconds left, 60-57 in the fourth. Toledo has beaten NIU today, 79-70. And some other ones that went on, Akron beat Eastern Michigan, 70-53, and Ball State beat Buffalo, 72-60.
Yeah, just a full night of basketball here in the Mid-American Conference. Western Michigan also playing Ohio right now. For whatever reason, the MAC website is not updating the score. I can look at it.
75-56, Western Michigan.
Western Michigan
over
got the win.
Ohio.
That's big for them because that almost secures a spot in Cleveland for them, I believe. Looking at the standings, you have Ball State locked and loaded at number 1, and then you have Buffalo right behind them with Toledo in the 3 spot. Both Buffalo and Toledo each now 13-4 in Mid-American Conference play. Kent State now 11-6. They are right now ahead of Miami, who is 10-6. I do believe that they also have the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Miami has just tied it up with Central Michigan, so if you're keeping up with that game, 12 seconds left, tie game 60-60, and Central Michigan will have the ball.
Falcon fans, big fans of Central Michigan tonight. And then right in the 6th spot, Bowling Green now 10-7. Behind them is Central Michigan at 7-9, and then Western Michigan rounds it out. They're now 8-9. Northern Illinois is next up at now 6-11, I believe, and then Ohio, Akron, and Eastern Michigan all eliminated. But like I said at the top of the broadcast, Bowling Green can't move down because with heading into today with 2 games left, they had a 2-game lead on Central Michigan, and they won both of the regular season contests. So right there is your head-to-head if they were to do opposite, with Bowling Green losing out and Central Michigan winning out. So Falcons can only go up or stay right where they're at. And, what are a few things you'd like to see them do in that Eastern Michigan game? Of course, it's only an hour trip up north. Eastern Michigan 1-16 this season in the Mid-American Conference play.
Well, I'd like to see them keep that rebounding where they had it today. They had 40 rebounds today against Kent State, and I'd like to see them keep that up because when you're on the road, sometimes the shooting doesn't always travel the best. You're going to have, these are different rims, you're in a different environment, you're not completely understanding how that gym works and how the rims bounce. But one thing that's for sure is you will know how to rebound the entirety of the game. You'll be able to get out there, rebound, offensively and defensively, stop them getting second chance opportunities, and get yourself some second chance opportunities. So going into that Eastern Michigan game, I'd like to see them keep this rebounding up that they did.
Final notes is we're going to look at each team's scoring breakdowns, at least some of it. Jenna Batch finished the game with 25 points. Another double-digit game for her. Tatiana Thomas behind her with 14. Deanna Gray had 10. They had 3 other scores in single digits in Hildebrand, Babbitt, and Dunn. And then looking at the Falcons, of course, it was an all-around great team performance. I'm sure Lexi Fleming will talk about that when I interview her in a little bit. But Erica Porter finished with 13 points. So did Amy Velasco. Paige Kohler had 17. Lexi Fleming had 25. They also had Donahue with 5, Ellis with 2, McGuff with 3, and then Layla Harrison had 4. Looking at the rebounds, though, Paige Kohler had 8, and Erica Porter right behind her was 6. And then, of course, the assists were another big category with Velasco and Fleming each having 6. One last time, Foster, do you have anything else to add?
If you can keep that 3-point percentage, 48%, 12 from 25 from 3, keep it that high going into the rest of MAC play. Yep. There's not many things that can slow you down as a team, because having that good of a shooting night is going to open up everything else for your offense, and that's going to give your team, as just a team, it's going to make everything feel much looser and flow much better.
Well, thanks for joining me for a third time this season, Foster. It's been fun. Falcons 3-0 when we're calling games together, by the way, just saying, putting that out there. So I'm going to step aside. Foster's going to say goodbye, and when I return, Lexi Fleming will be with me on air, and I'll interview her and then send us off. What a win for the Falcons. Don't go anywhere. This is WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey everyone, Falcon Media Sports Director Lucas Kleinmeyer here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
The morning show on WBGU FM is brought to you by the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce. For more information, contact The Morning Show at themorningshow@bgchamber.net. Send them any programming suggestions or information you might have. They are always looking for show ideas and guests. To have your birthday or anniversary announced, email or call the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce at 419-353-7945. The Morning Show on WBGU.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Let's go.
Hello, my name is Reiko Badurov. I play for the BGSU men's soccer team, and these are my Falcon 4 breakfast items. Number one, I'd say, is eggs. Just good protein, good way to start off the day. Also really like waffles, just so good. You can put chocolate chips, whipped cream on it, it's amazing. Same thing with French toast, love like the cinnamon taste to it. And then I'd say yogurt too. Yogurt and granola, can't go wrong with that. So those are my 4.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X, and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Be part of the WBGU team. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on-air, promotions, social media, music selection, and much more. Positions are always available to students and the local community. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM. the return to radio freedom.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center. One final time tonight, I'm joined by the BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, Lexi Fleming. The BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide provides the latest food and drink specials from local restaurants. You can find it on our homepage, bgfalconmedia.com, or simply go over to our top navigation, mouse over life, and click on food and drink. And Lexi, what a game that was.
That was awesome. It was a good win. We got some momentum going back, so hopefully we can take that into Eastern.
At the beginning of the game, obviously, you started 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. So what was kind of going through your head, and how did you get into the flow of things?
Yeah, I mean, my shot was feeling good, seeing the ball go through 1 or 2 times. You know that you got the hot hand, and my teammates did a great job of finding me. Amy going deep into the paint and kicking it out. We were sharing the ball really well in that first quarter, which we got to carry on in the other 3 quarters. But, yeah, it started off really well. We got to keep that momentum throughout the entire game.
As a team, you guys dished out 18 total assists, had 40 rebounds, which was more than Kent State in both those categories. How did that help you guys as a whole?
Yeah, we have seen when we get X amount of assists, we do a really good job. So like I said, moving the ball, we do a really good job actually in this game, the entire first quarter, but it's usually just half of the first quarter. So we got to figure out ways to keep the ball moving and keep our assists up.
How did you guys keep up the intensity throughout the game?
Yeah, I think that we knew what we were capable of. We had some fire underneath us from NIU, so we got to continue to do that, continue to play hard.
There was a great environment in the Stroh, obviously the last home game of the season. So what was that like?
Yeah, it was sweet having everyone come out. I know it's on spring break, so it was still good to see people come out. And the place was loud, so it was good. We got to keep doing that way, but it was good to end the season on that note.
Last question I will ask you, Lexi, is how do you continue this positive momentum into Eastern Michigan and then the MAC tournament?
Yeah, I think we were always capable of this energy, but it's just now showing. But everyone says you got to play your best basketball in March, so that's what we're doing. But we got to keep working hard. We got to keep practicing hard. We got to keep just plugging away, foot on the gas.
Well, thank you, Lexi, for joining me, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
That was Lexi Fleming, our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, who just joined me one final time from the Stroh Center tonight. 84-61 is the final score. I want to give some shout-outs to, firstly, our board operator, Austin Roos, back in the studio, making sure that Foster and I sounded good all night and putting on the ads and all that wonderful stuff. I also want to give a shout-out to our director, Lucas Kleinmeyer, who was listening from his home in Cincinnati. So thank you for allowing us to do these games and all you do for the program in general. Also want to give a huge thank you to our faculty advisor, Carl Smith, another person who does just so much for the program and helps keep us on air. And please check out our Twitter/X page at BG_FMSN. One final time, the Falcons get the win. They are now 10-7 in MAC play. The Golden Flashes drop to 11-6. Foster Rostai, thank you for joining me, and my name is Caden Knapp. Stay safe, everyone. Until next time.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.